morning, everyone. Welcome to a new video. This one is going to be all about breakfast ideas. And I'm starting with one that is a perfect continuation on my video from last week where I have made a bunch of this applesauce. And that's because I am making oatmeal and I will be adding the applesauce to the top of it, which is my favorite way of using this applesauce. So what I've done so far is I've just put some oats into the pot, poured milk over it, a little bit of cinnamon, and now it is simmering away. I didn't really measure anything. The milk and oh my God, it's early morning. The amount of oats versus the amount of milk really depends on the consistency of the oats that you're using, like whether they're relatively soft or more hard. Like the harder the oats, the more milk and the more time you will need to use. You could shorten this time if you remembered the night before to pour some water over the oats, like just put them in a bowl, pour some water over them and just let them sit on the counter overnight. I never remember to do that, so I always start fresh from the morning, and it can take like 15 minutes to get them done, so it's not the quickest, but I mean, I'm not doing anything. I can go ahead and prepare all of our drinks in the meantime or just do other things while the oats are boiling on the stove. So once they're done, I will top them up with the applesauce. I also have some crushed walnuts that I'll add to them, and it will be a very nice, cozy, and very nutritious breakfast for us. There are, of course, about a million different toppings that you can do on oatmeal. Some others that I really like to do is canned plums. And also here I am chopping up some banana and adding dark chocolate, which just melts beautifully on the warm oatmeal.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cup my tea. I can take what I need to get by. It doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me?
I am sure that many of you will agree with me that the best kind of a homemade breakfast is one that you make ahead of time, and then in the morning you just serve it up, no additional work required whatsoever. For me, that usually comes in the form of some sort of a pie. I bake some kind of a pie every 10 days, every 2 weeks, something like that, and you will see me make two kinds in this video, starting with an apple pie. You can find all of the ingredients and the measurements for this pie in the description of the video, but basically this is a yeasty dough. So you will see me using fresh yeast in this, and it also means that it needs a little bit of kneading. Now, I really like this recipe because the dough turns out not too sticky. It comes together really nicely, and it's relatively easy, at least compared to other yeasty doughs I've tried in the past, to combine everything together.
Put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on. Put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. The feeling is all gone. The feeling is all gone. If I could take you back to my youth and show you what I wish I knew, my will is strong with a place to lean. In the moment I hung desperately, the other ring on my wrist is gold, pairing with the light it holds. When I return from my skin and bones, I'm remembering the words you told me. Wait, hold on. Put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on. Put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all. I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone.
I am at first using a spatula to combine everything in the bowl, but later you will see me transfer everything onto the counter and then knead the dough with my hands. And you will see that in the beginning, the dough is sticking to my hands a little bit more, but as I go and as I knead a little bit more for a few minutes, the dough becomes nice and smooth and it stops sticking to my hands. I do have to admit, I was huffing and puffing after about just 1 or 2 minutes of kneading. I don't know if that's the advanced pregnancy or if this is just because I'm not used to kneading a dough all the time, but luckily, again, that's why I like the recipe, luckily just those 2 minutes was enough to get to this smooth dough, which then I can return to the bowl and cover it up with a tea towel and let it rest on the counter for about 2 hours. In the meantime, I can prepare the crumble for the pie. So I just mix up some flour, sugar, and butter and mix everything with my hands. I was actually doing this quite a bit in advance, so I've put the bowl then into the fridge and it stayed there for about an hour or two until I was ready to use it for the pie.
Another reason why I really like using this recipe is because it's really easy to then work with the dough once it is all puffed up, as you can see here, and you transfer it onto your baking tray. You can just use your fingers to spread it out. It doesn't tear much, or you would have to use like a lot of force to tear it apart. And even if that happens, if there is a tear appearing, it's super easy to just kind of stick it back together and you would never be able to tell. Once the dough is all spread out on the tray, I am taking out a can of grated apples. If you don't have a can of grated apples, you can of course use fresh apples, peel them, grate them, and then spread them all over the dough. And finally, you add the crumble and you bake the pie in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes or until the edges are nice and golden.
How come the stars come to shine when it's dark from so far away and show us where we are? What makes the sun go to sleep every night, and what's it dreaming of? I wonder.
Another type of breakfast we like to enjoy at least once a week is scrambled eggs. We like them with some bacon and onion. And sticking on the theme of preparing things ahead of time, this is something I can do. I will brown the onion and the bacon. I will then portion it out into these small containers, put these in the freezer, and then in the morning I can just pop out, one or two of those, and I'm cutting the prep time of that probably at least in half. That's how much time it saves me.
How come the trees get undressed when it's cold? And don't they miss the leaves they left behind? Could it be to make the ground shine like gold until winter comes? Until winter comes, until winter comes. It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder. Oh, I wonder. Stars come to shine when it's dark from so far away and show us where we are. It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. Oh, I wonder. Oh, I just wonder. Give me love, give me all your love, oh, 'cause I want you. No one else makes me feel this way, don't know what you do. Hold my hand, could you hold my hand, look me in the eyes. You and me, yeah, that's all I need, and I'll be alright. I'll be right here. I swear that I'll stay here with you. Hold me closer. I wanna stay here with you. All that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave your side. Be who you are and you'll be enough. If you're giving me your love, giving me your love. All that we have is each other now. Promise you won't leave my side. I hope who I am is enough for you. If I'm giving you my love, giving you my
I like to serve our scrambled eggs with some veggies. Here I'm doing a bell pepper. Sometimes I will do cherry tomatoes, a cucumber, a carrot, just something easy that I can quickly cut up and put on the plate. And of course, a few slices of sourdough bread, and you end up with a very nourishing and filling breakfast for your family.
right here. I swear that I'll stay here with you. Hold me closer. I wanna stay here with you. All that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave your side. Be who you are and you'll be enough. If you're giving me your love, giving me
And finally, I have another cake slash pie recipe for you. You let me know what you would call this. In Czech, we would use the word perník for it, because I think you can just never have enough of these make-ahead recipes. I'm actually going away for the weekend with my friends, and this is another reason why I love these cakes, because they're just so easy to transport, take with you, and then enjoy.
This is one of those super easy cakes where you just mix everything in a bowl and then you pour it into your baking tray and you're almost done. So again, all of the ingredients are in the description below. Maybe the one that you will be surprised with is the amount of the different seasoning that I'm putting into this, and that's because I am using this mix of different seasonings that we usually use for gingerbread cookies, but I'm adding it here into this cake. Now, if you don't have every single one of those, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't mean that you cannot make this cake. Just use the ones that you have. The most important one is definitely the cinnamon, and then everything else is kind of optional, you could say. What is also optional is the topping of this cake. So I am using our homemade cherry jam, and I'm actually pouring it into this little gadget, whatever you call it. You can totally use like a piping bag that you would use for decorating muffins or whatever. So I'm filling that with the jam and then just making these lines, the first one being probably the most crooked line I've ever seen in my life. So I was a little bit horrified with that first one, but luckily after the cake baked, it pretty much straightened out. So, and the other ones were much better. As for the type of the jam, like I said, I am using a cherry, but it's completely up to you which kind you want to use. What pairs really well with this kind of a cake is something that's a little bit more sour. So something like an apricot, for example, that would work wonderfully as well. But it really is whatever you prefer. I baked the cake in the oven at 170 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes. And I'm happy to report that my friends absolutely loved it. And that is it from me for this video, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye.